Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly meeting of the Phrancko Sweater Knitters. And anyone can join this meeting who's interested in knitting a Phrancko sweater. If you've ever knitted one in the past, if you want to just talk about them, if you want to talk to people who are knitting them, feel free to join us anytime on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or is it daylight time? I never remember. Anyways, Pacific time. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Ron.
Hello.
Hi, Serena.
Hello.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Judith.
Hi.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Hi, Sumner.
Hi.
Hi, Rana. Do you have a microphone this week?
I do.
Oh, good. Hi, Sidra.
Hello.
Well, here we are another week, and I'm back.
How was your pickleball lesson?
Oh, it was fantastic. And I played pickleball the next day as well. I'm a pickleball fanatic now.
It's all the rage.
Yes. It was
Oh.
really fun. And I'd like to say I didn't get hurt, but actually I fell down and skinned my elbow, but you can't see it has a Band-Aid on it. But I had a wonderful time for 4 days in Hawaii, and now I'm back at home, as you can see from my green screen picture.
Yes.
Do you watch a lot of movies on that long flight?
Mostly I knit.
Oh,
And I did download some videos. I love to watch Sudoku videos. Do any of you, are any of you
Love
Sudoku fans?
Sudoku. Huge Sudoku every day.
Yeah.
well, I played it.
Love
That's a game, right?
It's a
Yeah.
game, and they're YouTube videos of people solving really hard ones. And
Oh
there's
my.
one particular channel I just love called Cracking the Cryptic. Sumner, if you don't know about their channel, you should find
I'll look. Yeah. No, I
Cracking
love
the
it.
Cryptic. It's not only classic Sudoku, but they actually rarely do classic Sudokus. They do all sorts of variants, and they describe the variants each time, what the rules are that are different. And some of them are just amazingly difficult, and I'm just fascinated how they end up solving them.
Oh, yeah. I just love it.
Sudoku is kind of like knitting for some people. You know, if you get caught in it, you just become obsessed with it.
Yeah. When I don't have my knitting, I'll have my Sudoku going.
That's what I do.
And
Either
I
knitting
challenge
or trying to
myself.
solve the
And
Sudoku on my phone.
yeah, I constantly challenging myself for speed and accuracy.
Yes.
I really enjoy Picross. What are those called, Ron? They're like,
Oh yeah, Picross games. They are Sudoku-like, but you're filling in a grid to make a little picture.
Yes, I used to do that all the time also. The edges tell you the number of each
Exactly, yeah.
square,
A
and you have to figure out
nonogram.
where they go in the squares.
there we go, nanograms.
Yeah, they're called nonograms. Picross is like
Yeah.
the game brand that we play. I like puzzles in that way.
I've always liked puzzles. And I think that
Except for
has
chess
something to do with
puzzles.
why I like to knit and like to design.
Maybe.
Kind of like solving
I'll never
puzzles.
do another chess puzzle in my life.
In fact, I used to say all the time when I was a software developer, the reason I like it is because it's like solving lots of little puzzles.
I say that too. Exactly.
Well, I'm excited about the progress I've made on my hoodie.
Oh,
Yay.
And I'm working on it now.
what size is the hood this time?
And the hood, there's the hood,
Hey,
and there's how far I've done on the body.
Wow.
can you pin
Wow.
yourself?
I'm prepared to show you pictures of what the hood is like when I wear it. You can tell me what you think. Let's see. Share the screen. Share. There it
yeah.
is.
Oh, nice.
Date.
It's
Yeah.
Nice
perfect.
fit. Yeah.
There's the side view,
Yep.
and here's how it looks when it's down.
Very
Handsome.
nice.
It looks comfortable. It's not pulling anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
Wow, Frank, that's great.
it's a really nice size, I think.
Very handsome.
You're knitting at Sumner speed.
It's because I'm doing Aran weight.
That'll do it.
Yes. I also have had a lot of time to knit in the last week on the plane and and when I got home and my husband got home from his trip, we took separate trips, but he got home. He then took a COVID test and he's positive for COVID.
Oh,
Ugh.
No.
So he has been quarantining since Thursday in our apartment, and he's stuck in his bedroom, and I drop meals off at the door and run away while he opens the door to get the meal. And
Oh,
but I've tested every day and I'm still negative, so I'm hoping that
Good. Is this the second time he's had it?
no, neither of us have had it at all. We've gotten all of the
Oh.
vaccines. We felt like we were being safe. And then apparently he got exposed on his trip.
mm,
oh,
I'm just getting over a really bad cold.
Did you do a test?
Not COVID and not the flu. And yes, I tested 3 times and went to the doctors twice, not COVID.
Hmm.
But coughing so hard, I was like, it was worse than when I had COVID.
My daughter has had that. My ex-wife has had that, or has it now. There's this terrible cold going around that is not
Yeah.
COVID.
Awful, not COVID. Coughing blood. It was so
Really?
bad.
Oh, that
Knee
bad.
buckling, so bad. And not COVID.
That can make you drop a stitch if you cough like that.
Oh,
no.
are you kidding? Right? I literally collapsed my left lung.
Really?
Like, my left lung, they saw the scarring on the x-ray where my left lung started to deflate.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. Couldn't grasp a breath. Awful. And they have
That's
no idea what it is.
frightening.
They have no idea what it is. Not SARS, not COVID, not nothing. But today's my first day back to work.
Well, we're glad you're here.
I am so glad to be here. I tell you,
Did you
I'm
take it?
starting that
antibiotics?
turtleneck. No fever.
Mm.
Oh my.
Hi, Cindy.
Crazy.
Hi, Frank, I was muted. I'm winding yarn.
You came in after I greeted everyone, so I had to stop
Yeah,
and greet
yeah.
you.
Thank you. Did you have a good time last week in Hawaii?
Yes, it was a wonderful time.
And
Right.
did you learn the pickleball rules?
I learned the pickleball rules and played again the second day. It was really great.
He just
Oh,
told us
fun.
he's turning Phrancko.com into a pickleball blog.
That's right.
Oh, okay, so we'll all
Yes.
have to learn the
We'll
rules.
all
Yeah.
learn pickleball and play together.
So how many people are on a team?
It's like doubles tennis, or you can play singles, but I played doubles.
Oh, so it's only 2 and 2. So
2
we have
and
to have
2.
multiple teams.
No, just 2 and 2.
Okay, this is it. This is it. I've been weaving in ends for 2 days. This is my last one. I'm gonna cut it.
Congratulations.
Yay!
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Show us what you've been weaving the ends in.
This striped sweater,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh.
all of the ends were hidden on the inside of it, so I never got to it. But our Jody Long event is tomorrow in the shop, where he'll be here for a shop visit, and this is made of Andiamo light, so I wanted to put it out to display so I can continue to shill Phrancko while I'm at it. And but finally it sat here for months just sort of staring at me in the corner of my eye, waiting for me to weave in the ends, but there it is.
It is
all woven in.
absolutely gorgeous. Look
Yeah.
at this
This,
wonderful.
side.
this red and this blue goes so well together.
Aren't they nice?
We,
So, yeah, I
That
thought
looks like
maybe I could just
Fibonacci sequences. Did
run
you-
all these things into the fake seam because there's a big knit column in the back, but
Mhm.
I didn't. I wound up duplicate stitching all of it in across that faux seam.
Oh
So
my.
Oh,
God.
wow.
it's a lot of duplicate stitch.
A
So
lot of duplicates too.
the
When
side
you
of the
were working
sweater-
it, did you consider carrying this yarn up from stripe to stripe?
I did that where the stripes were small enough that I wasn't concerned that it would pucker over time as the yarn.
Oh. Yeah.
So in a couple columns, it is carried up, but when one of them is big enough to carry, the other one is a big stripe. So yeah, I did what I could to lessen the burden, but
It's
it's
problematic.
officially done. Bleh.
Ron, hold it up long enough to take a picture.
Okay, but
Go get it.
I couldn't have said that before I just specifically threw it.
I tried. Good.
gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
That's my Lake Placid 1980 Winter Olympics by après ski hot cocoa sweater.
I always have to choose a thumbnail to put on all the videos. I'll see if I can bring that up and make a thumbnail for next week's video out of that.
Oh, I feel so relieved. What was I thinking with all those stripes? Of course, you got that intarsia butterfly, and each of those patches of colors.
Yeah, that
to
took me
it.
2 days of weaving ends, I think.
Yeah. Weren't you doing some of it as you went?
Doing what?
Some of the weaving in as you went?
No, I did the
Oh,
whole
you just left it?
butterfly. I didn't finish the sweater though. I didn't want to do it after the sweater was done. So I did about an inch of the body below the butterfly. Then I stopped knitting and went and did the weaving in.
But clearly I was thinking ahead in some capacity while I was knitting it, because when I turned it inside out to start weaving the ends, I had already done the shoulders and underarms. Those had already been woven in. So I must have been like, oh, this will be enough for me to get a head start on. And then 6 months
Yeah,
later,
I was afraid I would do what you did if I waited till the end and saw I have this huge number of ends to weave in. I'd just put it off, and then I would be racing to get it done. Maybe I would even send it off to get published with the ends hanging down. I don't know.
Right.
But I really didn't want to be left with that.
just a little cellophane tape and they'll never.
That's
Ron,
right.
did you say it was a Jody Long?
Yes.
Hmm.
It is.
And he said he's having a Jody Long event tomorrow, and
Yes.
Jody Long will be there.
Yeah, he's coming into the
can-
shop tomorrow.
You can do a trunk show?
He'll have some garment displays and some sort of exclusive tour patterns that he'll be giving out, but it mostly like a meet and greet, and we'll set up some of the yarns so people can do a little like yarn tasting if they haven't tried them.
Mhm.
So
Do you have a
looking forward to it.
personal favorite of theirs that you like the best?
hard to say.
I like Summer Delight the best.
Tim likes Summer Delight the best. Tim has a definite favorite.
Which one?
Summer Delight.
Oh,
It's
mhm.
a DK
Cotton.
weight cotton and
Cotton.
cashmere blend.
Okay.
It's like 10% cashmere in. I don't know. I really like working with Andiamo light. I would probably never wear something made of Andiamo light because it's warm, and I am not.
Yeah.
Well, I am personally warm. Chow is really fun to work with.
Chow is
Oh,
wonderful.
and this we've just put out. It's just come in. Chow now comes in like a speckly variegated.
Oh, oh,
Tim,
how
do you have your
cool.
swatch? Oh, sorry. So you see the lengths of color are very, very short.
Oh,
So they just
nice.
look like little specks of color.
I think I'm gonna have to get my hands on some chow.
This guy is crocheted out of it. This is the gift
Oh,
I'm
that's
giving
cool.
to Jody tomorrow.
How fun.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Oh, wait.
Oh,
so some of them are more subtle. Like
Mhm.
this from a distance looks like a sort of nice slate color, but up close it's green and purple. And this is very wild.
Wow.
Very nice.
That's really pretty.
Well
Yeah.
balanced.
Yeah. Flora is also beautiful. I don't know. There's so many that are, I just love them. I love the line. He impresses me with basically every yarn that gets added to the line. So it's hard to say.
And how did you decide to sell that product?
To go all in. So-
Sorry?
To go all in on it.
Yeah, yeah.
The oh, this is cottontails. This is also nice.
Oh,
Oh.
wait.
The
hold it up again. You weren't
Oh.
spotlighted. Oh, isn't that
Oh,
cute?
that's cute.
This is a Phrancko that I
That's
modified. to have puff
adorable. Is that the
sleeves.
happy baby sweater?
Yeah, it's a happy baby modified with puff sleeves.
Yeah, I see the puff sleeves. That's so cute.
And then this just little stitch pattern
Yeah.
the waist. So you see, I've got enough samples so I can shill both Phrancko and Jody Long at the same time.
And we appreciate that so much.
My when my sales rep who vends Jody Long here in the States, they're distributed by Knitting Fever, came in and showed me some of the first yarns he had out when he was just starting the line and the yarns are brand new. And I brought one or two of them in. I think I started with Alba, which is the sport weight tweed that one of these things behind me is made up. This one, remember?
Okay. Mhm.
I started with that because tweed was having a big moment and it feels beautiful. And from there, it just kind of, one of my customers had used another one of the yarns that she'd gotten someplace else and really praised it. So I picked up that one and here we are.
Okay.
So a lot of what running a shop is looking at yarns that come your way and finding things that you find really exciting and then trying to get other people excited about them.
Right. Right.
It's worked on Sumner.
Oh, yes. And Cindy.
Sumner, can I change your name from iPhone?
Oh, I thought I did. I had to sign up.
I can do it.
Yeah,
You want to be Summy or Sumner?
doesn't matter.
Someone.
Or
You
someone?
can even put some, SUM.
Something
What?
else.
It's what my mom used to call me. So everyone thought my name was Sam because mom was French
Oh,
and she would say some and everyone thought she was saying Sam.
My son Sam.
Yeah.
this is my son of Sam.
Yeah, that would be
Sumner,
bad.
I thought I would let you know that a couple of nights ago, I was browsing on YouTube, and you know how it suggests videos for you. It
Oh, yeah.
suggested Arnie and Carlos's video on Norwegian knitting.
Oh, isn't that
I
funny?
saw the video on how to do the knit, and then they said, and now we have one on the purl that will follow, and it came up next. And so I saw how to do the knit and how to do the purl and how they do the purl with the cha-cha-cha.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that I'm like, I've knit like 3 hats now and a pair of socks and I'm getting there and it's relearning how to knit just
Yeah,
because
I
you're
would
doing
think
something
so.
for 30 years. It's not that difficult, but you want to go slow so that your stitches are right and then the speed will take care of itself naturally. But I've got to not knit so fast and so long that I hurt myself, you know? So
Yeah,
had
they
to
really
change-
emphasized how little your fingers are moving, and
Yeah,
so it's
and
less
it's true.
dangerous.
Yeah, so it's so far so good. I'm casting on that ridiculously tiny sweater now. saddle shoulder on the zeros.
You're doing it. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, good Lord.
You're doing a saddle shoulder on zeros.
I am.
Is that a lace weight or is that a fingering?
This is fingering, but I'm getting 40 stitches over 4 inches across and
Wow.
42 rows over 3 inches.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
It's lovely.
Well, we'll be
But-
following you. You're doing that for about the next 6 months, I would guess.
No, I'll be doing this one. I wanted a project that I could just pick up and put down and pick up and put down. Because I have my other Phrancko that I'm doing here, which is the cardigan.
And you have a
And all-
hoodie. You have a
all
hoodie
in
to
the
do
winter.
soon.
I will. I'm very excited about the hoodie. Have all the yarn and everything.
Oh, yeah?
Very
What kind of
excited
yarn are
about
you going to do it in?
Alpaca boucle,
Oh, that's right.
because I want it to look like shearling.
And at what gauge? Have you-
That's on 7s. The yarn called for 8s, but Cindy was right when she said, go down a needle size because it was too fluffy. It needed to have a little more weight to it.
Uh-huh.
The difficult thing is you just can't see the stitches.
Oh,
So, but I love how the fabric looks. It looks just like shearling.
hmm.
So to just make the most cozy hoodie.
But that's going to be the nice thing about it. Nobody will know if you made a mistake.
Yeah. I wouldn't know if I
Seriously,
made a
it'll just
mistake.
it'll just look. It's just the little curls of the little lamb. It's not.
I should
gonna-
just
you
make
won't be
it,
able to
throw it
see
on the machine, right? Just make the fabric and throw it on the machine to be the same thing. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Kathy, how was stitches for you for the weekend? It was good. Do I have any crumbs on my mouth? I've been eating my lunch. Yeah, it was good. I almost reached my goal, which was a number I pulled out of a hat, so that was good. And Ron, I wanted to stop in Bakersfield on the way there, but I was rerouted to Los Angeles. It was the most, it was the longest road trip I've ever been on. And I got some great pictures, and I'm going to write a blog post. There and back again, a knitter's journey for Taylor. I don't know.
What caused you to reroute to Los Angeles?
First, it was the snow over the Sierra. Well, it was the snow over the Sierras.
Oh,
And then it was also the fact that there was flooding on routes 5 and 99. So you couldn't even go to Bakersfield anyway
Yeah.
to go up to Sacramento.
You went down 101?
I did. I came up 101.
Oh, yuck.
I came up, went
Oh,
to
yeah.
Ventura, which
Yeah.
was really pretty. And I'd never seen that part of the country, and I'd never been on 101. So, I took a lot of pictures because I thought it was really neat. But Santa Barbara traffic was unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. I always hear it, such a beautiful place and a great place. And one of my friends grew up there, and oh, well, I didn't think so. Then we went through the wine country, and that was really, really, really pretty. So got in about 10 on Wednesday night, and we left at 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning.
wow.
So,
Not bad.
but the show itself was really good, I thought. But unfortunately, there weren't as many vendors there as there should have been because of the snow. People backed out.
Yeah. I
I'm
heard
gonna
some of this
do-
freight got caught up for a couple days as well.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, when we showed up on Friday at 10:30 or something like that, there was still one vendor that was putting her booth together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. It's
But
just,
everybody else seemed to have their booths together.
we got done at, we were supposed to be finished by 5 on Thursday, and we were done at 10 of. So, yeah.
They usually keep track of the number of people that goes to the marketplace. Anybody say what about how many were there?
My guess is about a fifth of the people that were there 3 years ago in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Many fewer people, many fewer people.
Oh,
And mostly locals. I think Sidra, there was one other person besides Sidra I met that actually flew in. Just one.
Yeah.
So, and somebody also said, one of the other vendors said, you should go to the Pasadena show. It's much, much larger.
Yeah,
It's, yeah.
it's easier to get to and it's,
Mhm.
good.
But
Well,
I
the
won't
Pas-
be,
The Sacramento show now is really easy to get to too, and there's lots of food.
yes, the food was very good.
Yeah. We
Even
went
Denny's. We went to
to a
Denny's
really
the
good
first night.
Mexican restaurant. Oh my God, it was amazing.
Oh yeah, which one did you go to?
Mayahule?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that. That was highly rated. Yes.
Yes. And so because we didn't have reservations, we sat at the bar. And my daughter and one of the girls that we were with was befriending the bartender. And so as the dinner went on, he started making extras in his drinks. And
Oh.
we got little samples. It was amazing.
That's fun. Yeah. So, but all in all, it was a good show, and I learned a lot. And I figured out. Oh, well, I didn't figure it out, but my sister, who's really good at branding and marketing and things, she made a few suggestions for the business that I think I'm gonna take her up on. So, working on focusing and collection and doing this and that. Now that I have a dozen patterns or so, but they're all really different because they were all designed to test out KnitWiz. So now I'm gonna work at just being a real designer, and I mean I'm already a designer, but making a collection of things that kind of go together and picking the yarns and things like that.
Emphasizing more of your designing.
Yeah. So, because I enjoy that part the most.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And I'm not traveling to California in the winter again. Oh, thank you.
It's not typical.
Well,
This was an odd winter. Well, we'll see if it keeps it up with
Yeah.
finding what it is.
I don't think anything is typical anymore.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, each season gets a little more. I don't even know the word to use. Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's about 70 degrees outside and overcast and muggy, and like this is not normal for us.
Mm-mm.
What is with the humidity?
Oh, yeah. Same with Boulder, it's gotten much more humid.
Yeah.
It's like a little mountain. What's the name of that mountain in the Himalayas? I don't remember. Darjeeling. They said the climate's becoming a lot more like Darjeeling, India. I think it's India.
How strange.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, and I ate at Moo City, Moo something. It's right outside of Bakersfield on the way home.
Oh, Moo Creamery.
Moo Creamery?
Moo Creamery, that's it.
Oh.
It was good.
Do they
I
make their own
thought-
butter and ice cream and stuff?
Ice cream
Ice cream.
and like sandwiches, and you
Mhm,
can get a croque madame.
mhm.
Oh, don't you love that?
What's a croque madame?
It's like a
It is
croque
the-
monsieur, but it's a boy or it's a girl.
It's the best grilled cheese sandwich you'll ever eat in your life.
A little bit of ham in
Right,
there.
Judith?
Or you can get a Monte Cristo, or
Yeah.
the sandwich in the Iron Mask, or wait, no, that's-
Cute.
I don't know what the sandwich in the Iron Mask is. I only took one semester of French literature,
That's fun. So being a first generation American and you have your friends over for lunch and your mom's making like tomato soup, right? And croque monsieur sandwiches for everybody,
Yeah.
right? And then your friends are like, that's not a grilled cheese. The cheese is on the wrong side, you know? Because the cheese is just all over this sandwich. And I'm like, okay, I'll have yours then. You know what I mean?
Cheese is never in the wrong place.
Never
Right.
wrong
I
place.
don't, that's just some insanity right there.
Yeah, I tell you, croque monsieur, cheese inside and out, and a stick of butter.
Yeah.
Sounds like something you have to skip a couple meals to have it.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
You know, if you're also, if you got a croque monsieur and you're friends with Monsieur Lipitor, then you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
have both.
yeah. You maybe want to skip it.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Yes.
Just have to have a good homeowner's insurance policy. Yes, it's that man correct, you certainly will.
I debated with myself taking the train up to Sacramento for a day or two, because the San Joaquin line, some of the trains go directly from Bakersfield at one end of the line to Sacramento at the other end of the line. But the trains have become so far between on the San Joaquin line now that the only one that ends in Sacramento without a transfer is the one that arrives at like midnight.
Oh.
And the weather was being so dicey that I decided to stay home.
But there were a lot of people that were stuck
Yeah.
traveling there. So
At least they had yarn to keep them warm.
True. Imagine if it were like a concrete convention. We're having our 2023 hostile architecture showpiece. This bench is full of rebar.
Okay, who wants to show what they're working on?
I'm just
I
watching.
would show that I would show what I was working on, except for that my dog, we let the dog stay in the house and she crawled up on the table and ate it. I thought those days were over.
Oh, no.
I learned my lesson.
Show us the damage.
Even
I don't
better.
know. Oh, I'll go get it.
This is so everybody can be warned. I've had this happen to me twice.
Oh yeah, but not at our house, thank goodness.
No,
So-
it didn't happen at your house.
There's the yarn.
Uh-oh.
There were two needles on here. Fortunately, she didn't eat the ones that were my interchangeables. She only ate the other ones because I was
Oh,
switching
goodness.
sizes. And then
Oh my goodness.
here it is. Big hole.
Oh no.
So I have to rip back. I've got one whole side done. That's the back. So I actually have to rip back all the way down to like here.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
No.
Oh,
And I haven't felt like it.
yeah. I have a dog. My dog took a sweater and ran around the dining room table with the sweater until I could no longer pull the chairs out of the dining room. I had to cut up through the unraveled sweater because he had wrapped the whole thing around. And the only thing left was, just
Yeah.
about where you started. I was like, oh no. And you can't kill him. I was more mad than when he ate the center console of my Prius.
Oh,
That one cost me $1,200.
Mm.
But I was like, oh, that's bad. Yeah. Love him. He's adorable.
He's just sitting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's as close as he ever comes to getting into anything.
So
That's the
cute.
dog for me.
Yeah.
I
So cute.
The breed was intended to be companion animals for invalids. So if you want
Touch
to
him so we can see. Is that his face looking at us? It's,
he's wearing a cone.
oh, he's wearing the cone. Oh, right. So
Yeah.
the
Cone
cone
of
There's
shame.
his little
is
body.
his head. I see.
There's his stuffed animal.
Uh-huh.
There's his pizza blanket. Or his cheese blanket.
That's his cheese blanket.
This is his cheese blanket.
Oh,
Part of the croque monsieur.
Yes. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's about as active as he gets.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, sometimes he'll get the wiggles.
Sometimes he will get the wiggles, but that's the only knitting thing he's ever destroyed was a little sweater I made for him. The first and only time I made him a sweater, and then his little feet go bing, ding, 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 and then it was done. It was like, okay, well, we're not doing that again.
Yeah.
But he
That's
sits on knit blankets all day long. Occasionally his foot will get stuck in one, but that's an accident.
Yeah.
Cute.
I have a question on the saddle shoulder sweater.
Frank turned into a portrait of himself,
Oh, yes, it did.
but I'm sure
So-
he'd like to know what your question is.
The saddle is
Under-
only about an inch wide.
Hi.
That seems a little small.
is it an inch wide? I don't remember.
The saddle says it's about an inch wide. I don't know. I
Oh.
haven't made one in a while.
I think that measurement on the schematic is this where you're getting that is the depth, so it's 2 inches wide.
I also think it's 2 inches wide.
I'm making the saddle and it says you make 2, right? Saddles. But I thought, don't you make the whole saddle all the way down?
Yeah.
You do.
So that's your 2 saddles.
Yeah, that's my 2 saddles.
Is it
'Cause
only
you're
an
not-
inch?
Yeah, it's only an inch.
How many
Shouldn't it be
stitches did it tell you to cast on? 10,
12,
12? That's an inch.
that's an inch.
Huh.
Which,
That's-
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
too small.
I don't know.
Are you making a little tiny sweater
No,
for a little tiny person?
no. The chest is 46 inches.
Yowza.
Yeah, and the gauge is correct. Neck is correct, shoulder to waist is correct.
What's your sweater number?
Oh, that's on the last page, right?
Yeah, it's the very bottom, very last line.
One zero nine three. Yeah, row count is 42. I'd have counted rows as 3. And it's correct on the length of rows, and the saddle should be about 56.
Look at your gauge. I've never seen it right. 4E plus 1 stitches. What in the world is that?
Exposa.
So, no.
Does yours say that too? I mean, I guess it has to.
So where's, so there's finished.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look at that. I don't know why it
Yes.
wrote it as 4E plus 1. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, no, don't know.
Uh,
But yeah, that's what it
let's
says.
see what you put in for gauge. Stitch
40 over
count
4 inches.
40 for 4 inches.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so
accurate.
that's 10 stitches per inch. Yes.
Yeah. And 42 over 3 inches for height.
Well, guess what? I think the the shoulder might be 1 inch wide.
I think so too.
It's been so long since I've knitted the saddle shoulder. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem unreasonable to be 1 inch wide.
It is whatever it is, actually.
I think it's okay.
Mhm.
But yeah, size E4. Oh, crochet hook. There you go. That's fine. And then that's,
No, look at your gauge. The gauge on the pattern.
yeah.
What does it say for stitches?
So there is there it is. Stockinette stitch using large knit 4E plus 1 stitch equals 56 rounds.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering about. Okay. Well, here we are displaying for the whole world to see, and we found a bug in my program. Thank you.
Oh, well, sorry.
I'm looking at my saddle shoulder pattern number 403, and it
Uh-huh.
gives the saddle width as 4 inches.
It really it somehow determines the width of the top of the shoulder. And I don't remember how it does that. And so it is going to vary, but I don't know why it's only 1 inch.
But
Yeah,
I thought,
and
but Sumner, didn't you say the chest measurement was like 46? So it's not like it's a little sweater.
no, it's not a little sweater.
Yeah.
Even at 1 inch on the saddle,
Mhm.
it will be because it's going to look more like a shirt, right? It's going to be thin. It's going to be like a machine knit, right?
Yes, it's at the gauge you're at. It sure
It-
is.
It's not going to be, I think it's still going to be the right saddle.
Let me know if it isn't. I hope it's right.
Um,
Oh, I just had a thought, Frank.
What's that?
So the gauge is kind of this weird thing, 4E plus 1. If the program doesn't recognize that gauge, maybe you have a minimum of 1 inch somewhere. And maybe that's why it's being put in as 1 inch.
Well, no, it knows. It just printed it weird. That's,
Oh, I see. Okay.
because it's going to be 4 inches long, which is 56 inches. That's correct. That's a correct measurement, 4
Yeah.
inches for a saddle.
Right.
And it's a turtleneck.
it's just how the program.
I
the number
literally
40,
think,
I think.
I think it'll be fine. It just was odd that it was just 1 inch, because I think my other saddle is like 2.5 inches wide.
Yeah.
My saddle shoulder that I made, the one my sister stole.
Well, I'll look at it. I'm very curious as to why it varies so much.
Yeah.
And I wrote the program, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and I haven't knitted a saddle shoulder in probably 3 or 4 years. So I'm real unfamiliar with it, actually.
Yeah, and I don't know. I've always loved a saddle shoulder sweater.
Well, certainly a lot of people have done them, and no one's told me.
It's
they
how I
didn't do it.
found you when I was
Oh.
originally looking for a saddle shoulder sweater.
Is that right?
It's how I found you. And then I had ended up taking, like 6 months later, like an introductory to TKGA, and you were there. And that's kind of how I found you, was the saddle shoulder.
Oh,
Yeah. Interesting. We all come finding you some other way, right?
right.
Yeah. But you had a YouTube video already, I think, on it.
On the saddle shoulder?
Well, on your sweater process. So I
Oh,
was like in Ravelry looking for saddle shoulder sweaters to make.
I see.
Yeah, and but it's about the right time frame.
I found you through Suzanne.
The knit along I did with Suzanne.
Yeah,
Yeah, that introduced me to a lot of people. So that
Yeah.
was nice. I
For
really-
And I
me,
found Suzanne through you.
it was the interview you did with Suzanne that I think I
Oh,
figured out who you were. And of course, I love software, so I was like, oh, I got to check this out.
so surely somebody else has something else to show us.
I'm just watching.
No, I made a hat, but it's not a Phrancko.
Oh, you don't need to show a Phrancko. Show me your hat.
Oh, it's really cute.
Is it the 1898 hat?
No, I made two of those though.
Uh, yeah, I saw that in last week's video. I reviewed the whole thing.
So I'll bring the 1898 because it was over there, but here's that hat, the 1898 hat with the earmuffs.
Yeah. That's
Kind
so
of a
cool.
fun, out of, yeah, see, like get your ears,
So
kind of cute.
Very nice.
And then I made this alpaca fishing hat.
yeah.
Oh, that's really adorable.
Yeah, I wanted to do the 1x1 rib in the Norwegian knitting,
Oh, right.
right? To see like how even are my stitches, knits versus pearls, how is my change, right? So I thought the best way to do it was knit a fishing hat. Just do a lot of it, right? So that was like a swatch hat. And it's comfortable, right? And then now I figured it's safe to dive into the sweater where I think I got the knitting down.
Oh, good.
Tim made
And-
this kappa head.
How
What?
cute.
So he's in the process of making a kappa.
Very cute.
What did it start off as?
It was gonna be a bunny rabbit.
It was going to be a bunny rabbit, but he became inspired. So this is a very bad rabbit.
Kind of a cute beak pattern. I was like, this is much better as a kappa. Let's put a beak on it.
Let's put a beak on it.
Adorable.
It
That's-
is adorable.
The top of Tim's kappa.
This is knitted or?
It's crocheted.
Crochet.
Yeah. That's what we've done. Oh, there you go. And that's what I did this week. I made these two guys to give away as gifts when Jody and his handler come.
Very cute.
So this is made with
His
Jody
handler.
Flora, and this is Chow Carnival.
They're very
And
cute.
what did you use as a pupil, the center of the eye, the dark center?
It's a safety eye.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah, it's a little black half sphere with a ridged prong on the back that you press
Okay.
a little ring onto so that like children can't pull them out and choke on them.
Right.
Oh,
Very
Not
nice.
that I give anything to children, but I love the little the buggy eyes. Like,
they are
Yeah.
Really.
my favorite part.
Yeah, they're cute.
That's what we did this week. In addition to like tearing apart the entire shop and then putting everything back, we've hundreds of skeins of yarn came in this week, and so it's been busy.
And Cindy, you said you're winding yarn. Is that what you're doing? Or spinning yarn?
I'm winding. Sparkling grape.
Ooh.
It's a Cascade 220.
is that for your butterfly? Are you-
No, she wanted other colors for the butterfly. She wanted it's kind of a mallard green and an olive green.
Mm.
And then one of the colors is raisin. This one's going to be for me. So
And what are you going to make with that one?
I think I'm going to do a cardigan. I've got a couple pictures of me in this color and I like how I look.
Oh, it's a beautiful color.
Yeah,
And
it's so cute.
so I was just thinking around and I found some. It's like, okay, sparkling grape. Yes, that's what I need. So,
It's not really sparkling, is it? I don't see.
no,
sparkling.
it's not. It's just
Oh.
a plain.
Just a
It's a
beautiful.
Cascade 220 merino. But it's kind of a pinky purple. It is quite bright like this.
It's not the superwash
Name.
kind, right?
No, it's not the superwash. It's just the regular Cascade 220 merino. Mhm.
It looks like the Pantone color of the year.
It probably
Ah,
is. It didn't say that in the thing, but it is. And so Jerry went to Seattle and grabbed it for me. So I've been winding today. And I do have the really big winder. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
wow.
Yeah,
That's like
that's from
big.
when I knitted for just years and years. This was a big one that I got, so I did. And then I've got an umbrella Swift on the other end of the table. So
I've never seen one that big.
Me either.
this was Nancy's knickknacks, and it's kind of the heavy duty big one, and it actually has a bigger thing if you want to put the really big thing on it to do like art yarns and stuff like that.
It
Hold
looks
it up
like it's
again.
wooden.
It just.
It is wood. Mhm.
That's nice. Everything's made out of plastic. these
It's
days.
very heavy, very
And
big. So you can see how
It doesn't
It is.
clamp to the table, or
it does, but it's
Oh, it
heavy
does.
enough that if I'm not really wailing on it, I don't have to clamp. But
I
it does
see.
have the holes here for the clamp to go on.
Oh,
And
This is what
then
we use.
this peg comes out and it moves around whichever way I need it to be from where the yarn is coming off the
That's
Swift.
excellent. I wish mine was like that, but
That's what we use at the shop when we have the motorized base for it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Unfortunately, Nancy's knickknacks is no more.
It isn't, I know. But
So,
I've been spinning since the kids were we won't even tell how many years, since the kids were quite young. And so I've had it, and it's one of those things that it kind of just doesn't wear out.
Yeah.
It just works.
we just had to find out what size O-rings we needed to buy for the motorized base since we couldn't get them
Mhm.
anymore.
Well, I was cleaning up some stuff downstairs, and I had my little packet of the replacement pieces if I ever
Oh,
need
yeah.
them in it. And it has a little sheet that says, this is the size O-ring that you need
Yeah.
for these, and this is the size of the little cotter pin. But I've never had to.
Luckily,
Had to
so
do stuff to
the yarn shop owner groups that I belong to mobilize. Like, for everyone who has this ball winder, these are the parts, and here's where you could get them.
Mhm. Yeah, but it's just a really good one, and it winds really nice, really
Yeah.
nice, neat teddy balls.
When you need a big winder for those Andiamo light skeins are huge.
that's right.
Well, for the one of those that I've done so far, I just like wound it by hand, but it took me a really long time, and
Yeah.
it's like I should have gone downstairs and got the winder.
I have a big ball winder. It's not like that. Yours is much nicer, but I was so grateful I asked for the big ball winder,
Mhm. Yeah,
because these Andiamo skeins, they just went on there like
Yeah.
butter.
And they make a very satisfying cake because they're so grippy and it comes out just like
and it
geometrically
is like
perfect
it's kind of like
cylinder.
a cheese. It's kind of like a cheese. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
We're
A
back
wheel of
to
cheese. A wheel of wheels.
Something very
Yeah.
satisfying.
Okay, we're closing in on the hour. Somebody else have something to show us?
Yes.
Ah,
I
Um,
finished my Phrancko sweater, my first. First one was a dress, second one was a hoodie, and this is a sweater. So it's quite long.
Oh,
Oh, it's
Oh,
lovely.
lovely.
Beautiful.
I like your
Even-
stripes and everything.
Even though I was afraid of not having enough yarn because I had two colors, three balls of 50 grams each. And I have 20 grams left of each color, approximately.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Very nice.
I think
I
it
did-
turned
I
out
did-
really good.
I finished the sleeve first, so I would make sure I would balance the color so it would be okay. And then I did the body same length as the sleeves with the same the stripes.
Pattern.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Beautiful.
Very
Yeah.
happy wearing it for the first time tonight with you.
Oh, we feel so
You know,
honored.
when we were talking colors on Thursday, that's a summer color.
It is.
Mhm.
Ah, bon.
So see,
Beautiful.
we said we thought summer winter for you.
Well, I think it looks bluer on my screen than it is actually. I'm not sure.
Oh, so it's not blue?
No, it's, I would call it mint.
Oh, okay. No, it looks blue.
Yeah.
Baby blue.
Yeah, baby blue.
Baby blue, yeah. So no.
And what is the gauge? It looks like a fine gauge from here.
I had the 6.5 stitches per inches.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty fine.
And the lighter color, which is kind of a gray green color, was small, thinner than the green one. So for the neck band and the cuff and the
Hemline,
sorry.
the hemline.
Yeah, well, yes. I held the two strands of the light color together to do the ribbing, because if I had only one, even if I used the smaller needle, it looked bizarre. So
And it looks like you put details in the corners of the collar, the
yeah,
neckline.
I did a few decreases, so it makes it a little squarer than
Yeah.
more square than round. Yeah.
That
'Cause-
looks really nice. I
Ah,
like that.
thank you.
Nice enhancement.
It's a warm sweater. Sumner said so. I agree, but I think it's because I'm talking. I was okay before.
Well, we appreciate it so much, Judith. We know you put yourself out beyond your comfort zone sometimes.
Yeah.
In the last minute, anybody else have something to tell us or show us?
I will start a new sweater soon.
Okay, yes. And I hope by next week I'll be able to show you the kangaroo pocket on this one, because I'm getting
Ooh,
down
yay.
to the point where I will start that.
I really like that color, Frank. And
I
it's,
do too. I'm always hesitant to just buy a yarn without seeing it in person, but I had to this time. So I just did my best to choose the color I thought would be the best. And I really love it. I don't know if you can tell us. It's
Yeah.
a
It is,
muted
it's
burgundy.
nice.
It's
yeah, when you showed the slides, it looked really good with your complexion and everything.
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Well, it's that time again, everyone. And thank you again for a really delightful hour. And I'll see you all next week.
Bye,
See you
everyone.
Thanks,
next week.
Frank.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.